good morning, all you beautiful people out there in listeners' land. I hope you had a very good Heritage Day, and for those of you who made it a long weekend, I hope it was wonderful. Now, as we have not had any requests to talk about anything specifically, and shame on you listeners, come on, let's have those requests. There must be so much you are interested in and want to know more about. But I thought, let me chat a little bit about my mood perspective. And this came to me the other day when I was at the shops. I was in the mall doing what one does, wandering around, doing your shopping, doing a bit of window shopping, bumping into people that I know and people that just stopped to chat to me. And it was wonderful. I was in a good mood. I was, as they say, in a good space. And the world was somehow brighter. Everybody was wonderful. And there was nothing that could upset me. And this made me think of how we create our reality. And again, it's a theme that we have touched on for the past couple of weeks. So when you are in a good mood, everything is a pleasure. Very little irritates you. You whistle in the traffic, you pet your pet, you laugh at the kids' forgetfulness, and life is good, and really nothing seems that important or that urgent. Now, have you noticed the converse? When you're not in a good mood for whatever reason, everything irritates you. The slightest thing just gets your goat. The traffic is just totally unacceptable. The kids are out of control. The dog is naughty. Your partner is just doing everything is according to you intentionally to irritate you and to spoil your day. And nothing is funny. Nothing is really great. The world is by and large an unfriendly and hostile place. Now, my point is, it's the same world. It's the same shopping center. It's the same traffic. Yet on the one day, it was a breeze. And on another occasion, it was the pits. What changed? Me. I changed. My mindset, my mood. I was in, as we say, a bad mood. And therefore, everything and everyone else was at fault. Isn't that interesting? That when I'm in a bad mood and you do something, you are at fault. We don't stop to think that actually I'm at fault. My mood is less than congenial and jovial this morning, and therefore I'm finding fault with everything, and most things are irritating me. Again, as I've said, on the other hand, when I'm in a good mood, nothing is irritating me. I can cope with everything, and life is a breeze. So that, if we think about it, if we extrapolate that a bit, that means I am totally in control of how I experience my life on a day-to-day basis. That is very powerful, because if we now stop behaving like a petulant child and decide to take responsibility for my mood, and let's be honest here, we all have days when we are not feeling so chipper, and we could be in that proverbial bad mood. But it is my responsibility to say, I cannot expect the world to make me happy. I have to be in a happy place, and everything will automatically be better and make me happy. George Bernard Shaw wrote, "This is the true joy in life, the being used for a purpose recognized by yourself as a mighty one, the being a force of nature instead of," and here's the interesting bit, "instead of a feverish little clod of ailments and grievances, complaining that the world will not devote itself to making you happy." I'm going to read that again. A feverish little clod of ailments and grievances, complaining that the world will not devote itself to making you happy. That means I am complaining, saying, this one should do this, the traffic and the potholes and the government and the boss and the children and the wife and the mother-in-law, they should all change who they are so I can feel better. And when we look at it like this in the context that I'm trying to illustrate this morning, isn't that a little bit ridiculous? Because it's not about them. Because if I'm in a happy space, if I say to myself in the morning, let's say I wake up in the morning and I am not in a good mood. My son, when he was a little boy, and I'm talking about 3-4 years old, he would say to me, I'm in a mood. And of course I would have none of that and would just tease him till he laughed. But if I would wake up in a mood, and I can say to myself, now come on Lee, if I want this day and everyone and everything in it to shine and to add joy to me, then I have to first bring joy to life. And when I bring joy to life, when I get up and engage with the day and engage with the world from a place of joy and gratitude, then everything and everyone just adds to that. And in no time at all, I think, as we say, my cup runneth over. The world is a great place. The world is a friendly, benevolent, accommodating place that makes me happy. So the important thing here is that I have that power to decide how I am going to engage with the world. And if I start off in a bad mood, in a mood, and then find that everything and everyone is irritating me, it is not about them. Now, I'm sure I've shared this with you before, but I'm going to share it again because it is so worth it. Dr. Wayne Dyer, who gave a lecture, and he said to the audience, if I squeeze an orange, what comes out of it? And of course, they said orange juice. And he said, and if you squeeze the orange, what comes out of it? Well, of course, orange juice. And if my neighbor squeezes the orange, what comes out of it? Yet again, more orange juice. Why? Because that is what is inside. I cannot squeeze an orange juice and expect guava juice to come out, because that is not what is inside. And it's the same with us as humans. Now, if we can become acutely aware of that, it means it does not matter who's squeezing me. Is it the traffic? Is it my partner? Is it my boss? Is it my family? Is it my kids squeezing me? If bitterness and venom and aggression, if those things come out, it is not because of who is squeezing me. It is because of what's inside me. Because on the day when I'm in this really good mood and in a good place, if they squeeze me, I just laugh at them and say, oh, well, whatever helps you sleep at night, and get on with my life. That is where that's the responsibility comes in, and the self-empowerment that I can give someone else that power over me by saying, it is your fault, I'm that feverish little clod, it is your fault that I'm unhappy. Or I can say, you know what? It is purely my fault that I'm unhappy, and I am going to make it my mission to every day find things that bring me joy and that I'm grateful for. And we've discussed this before, listeners. Those things can be the big things and it can be the little things. They can be my pet that is unconditionally happy to see me and loves me unconditionally. It could be a fantastic job offer, a promotion. It could just be that my partner arrived home safely from work today. It could just be that I had a wonderful day doing things that made me happy. So whatever you can find to make you happy, to put yourself in a good space, will create your life experiences. And we do that on a moment-to-moment basis, because my history was just a series of days, weeks, months, years that unfolded. And so are my tomorrows. My tomorrows is not one big mishmash of stuff. It is today, and then it will be tomorrow, and then it will be the day after tomorrow, and so on. And then it will be October, and so on. And so I create my tomorrows. I create my future by starting now and saying, you know what, I take responsibility for my frame of mind, and I take responsibility for my happiness, and I am acutely aware of how I react/respond to people around me. So I cannot say that so-and-so made me cross or made me unhappy, because they did not make me anything. I chose to react that way. Was it orange juice that came out, or was it lemon juice that came out? Yes, people will do things that don't sit well with you. Of course they will, because we are different individuals. But I have the power to decide how I'm going to respond, and whether I'm going to be in a huff about it and therefore take the rest of my day, the rest of my week, however seriously I decide to take it, with that mood, or whether I am going to let it wash over me, deal with it appropriately. And I'm not saying here that if somebody really offends me, I should laugh at it, but it should be dealt with appropriately, and I should not allow that, once I have dealt with it, to linger. I should be able to say, it has been dealt with, it is gone, it is done and dusted, it is now in the past. And by doing that, there is self-empowerment. By doing that, I change my perspective. And the world out there is a shiny place, is a friendly place, because I bring that to the world every day. And even if someone pushes me in the queue at the checkout, and even if someone steals my parking place on a very busy day, I can say, this is not the end of the world. This is not going to matter in 3 weeks, let alone 3 months' time. And therefore, I'm not going to be in a huff and create a scene, or spend the rest of the day in a foul mood, taking it out on the people around me, because I chose to be all bitter and twisted about it. So listeners, from this moment forward, become aware of how you interpret your environment. So I go back to what I started with. Do you interpret your environment as a happy, joyful, benevolent place, or as an unhappy place that the world is against me? Because it really is about my mindset, remember? When I'm in a good mood, nothing bothers me. When I'm in a bad mood, the slightest thing bothers me. So it's not about what's out there. It's about what's inside. Whoever squeezes you, it doesn't matter. It's what's inside. So start your day by saying, today I am going to make it my business to be joyful, to look for things to be grateful for, and not to let things upset me. I will deal with things appropriately. I think the Japanese have the analogy of throwing a pebble in a pond, and the water responds appropriately. If I throw a rock in a pond, there are big waves. But if I throw a pebble in a pond, there are little ripples, and then they disappear, and the pond returns to flat again. It does not keep on rippling and rippling and rippling because now someone threw a rock in the pond. Even the waves, they will dissipate, and the pond will return to flat, still water. And that is how we should be. Yes, there are occasions where we do need to address things and people. But then we must return to placid, calm waters again, and not harp on it, not let it spoil the rest of the day or the rest of the week, or a family get-together, or a friendship. We need to respond appropriately and let it go. Like the pond, let it go. Respond appropriately and let it go. But where at all possible, remain joyful, remain calm, and let it wash over you. So listeners, I hope you found something in that. I hope you will become aware of your mood and how it affects and how you create your experience, your life experiences with your mood, not with what others are bringing to the table, but with what you are bringing to the table. We're on Spotify. We are on YouTube. Please like us. Please subscribe. Please send in some requests for topics that you'd like to know more about, and have a lovely day and yet another weekend that is upon us. Chat next week.
The radio station you can't live without. This is your radio.
This is South Coast Radio.